There is nothing like watching your favorite movie on a truly big screen, and until recently, the only way to do that was to have a two-piece front projection setup, one that required you to have a projector and a projection screen, not unlike a commercial cinema. And while these types of setups are cool in their own right, they're not always the easiest to set up, let alone live with day to day. So unless you have a dedicated room or the ability to completely control the light in your room, these types of setups aren't always practical. And this is why I have switched from front projection setups to flat panel TVs. Now, flat panel TVs have no doubt gotten better over the years, but lately they've gotten bigger, a lot bigger. My first front projection home theater was based around an 84-inch screen that I later upgraded to a 92-inch screen, which I used as my daily driver for years. And I loved having such a big screen in my living room, provided I only watched movies at night, because daytime viewing, it wasn't so great, which is why I eventually switched from a front projection setup to a 65-inch flat panel TV, saving me all kinds of hassle. Until recently, if you wanted a flat panel TV that could compete with front projection in terms of size, you had to have some pretty deep pockets. And in some instances, you still do. But when I discovered Vizio's new 85-inch P-Series Quantum X TV that retails for under $3,000 while possessing all of the latest display technology, I thought this would be a great centerpiece for a truly big screen home theater setup. So when Vizio contacted us in order to show off their new P-Series Quantum X, I thought, why stop there? Why not create an entire home theater around this TV? So with help from Vizio, that's what we did. So thank you to Vizio for sponsoring today's home theater challenge. But a home theater is more than just a big screen. It also requires big sound. So the next challenge was how to create a 4K big screen home theater complete with Dolby Atmos, all for under, say, $4,000. Vizio's P-Series Quantum X is the brand's flagship 4K LED TV. Besides the 85-inch that you're seeing here, it also comes in a 65-inch and 75-inch size. But it's more than just a big TV. It's also one of the brightest on the market right now with, according to Vizio, 3,000 nits of peak brightness. And peak brightness matters, not because everything you watch will be hitting your eyeballs at full power, but because it's easier to lower the brightness of a display, but it's not always possible to raise it. That and HDR content requires a fair amount of light in order to look its best, something the P-Series Quantum X excels at. The 85-inch you see here has full array backlighting with up to 792 local dimming zones, giving you great contrast, not to mention vibrant colors, thanks to Vizio's Quantum Color. And it has all of the latest 4K tech for both home theater enthusiasts and gamers alike. We're talking about a brand new 4K HDR processor, HDMI 2.1 connectivity, 4K at 120 Hz native refresh rate, variable refresh rate, AMD FreeSync Premium, ultra low input lag, and an auto game mode. Those of you with next-gen consoles from the likes of Xbox and PlayStation, I know I have your attention. And no home theater is complete without great movies to watch. Thankfully, the P-Series Quantum X has all of the latest streaming apps built in to its SmartCast platform. I'm talking about Netflix, Prime Video, Disney Plus, Apple TV. They are all included. So you may not even have to mess with that old DVD or Blu-ray player. I'm not going to lie, this TV is big. It is the biggest TV that I have ever installed in my home. And because it's so big, we had to get a new articulating wall mount. This one from Kanto that can support the 85 inches size and weight. But if you don't want to mount a TV as large as this, maybe because you rent, you need to know that the P-Series Quantum X does come with feet, enabling you to place it on a cabinet, not unlike our BDI Octave console. Once on the wall, you may be forgiven in thinking that the 85-inch TV is bigger than it actually is. It's not, but to me, it looks about the same size as some of my front projection setups, only it is way, way brighter. Now, Vizio claims a peak brightness of 3,000 nits. Now, I wasn't able to hit that figure, but in my tests, I achieved maximum brightness levels of well over 2,000 nits. That makes the P-Series Quantum X one of the brightest TVs I have ever measured. But if you watch some of my TV reviews, you know that you don't always get the most accurate picture on the brightest settings. But you should know that even the calibrated or calibrated dark picture presets are not only brighter than most, but they're also more realistic, not to mention more comfortable for everyday viewing. And because of this TV's rather impressive light output, coupled with the number of local dimming zones, black level rendering in contrast is first rate. It's not quite as good as the best OLED TVs on the market, but very good among its peers. Backlighting control is also pretty good, provided you choose the right picture profile and local dimming setting. Personally, I tend to switch between medium and low with respect to the local dimming settings, though medium is a great all-around setting for those of you not looking to fuss. With the local dimming setting set to medium, highlight blooming is kept to a relative minimum and is largely a non-issue when viewing real-world content. It also results in the greatest amount of contrast, not to mention black level detail and rendering. And this true-to-life contrast carries over into color, where the P-Series Quantum X is very punchy, especially with respect to red, blue, and green straight out of the box. Now, for those of you wondering what are the most accurate picture profiles without having to resort to professional calibration, I recommend calibrated or calibrated dark. As in these two presets, you're going to be treated to the most natural or true-to-life image. Of course, you can always hire a professional calibrator or do it yourself with the right tools in order to make this display pixel perfect. And I would spring for full calibration of the P-Series Quantum X because after calibration, this display is one of the more accurate on the market right now. How accurate? Well, after a full calibration, I was able to achieve a margin of error, or delta E, of less than 1. If you're not familiar with the lingo, this is about as good as it gets. So with the right tools, this is one of the easier TVs to calibrate, and the results are immediately noticeable. Watching movies on this 85-inch screen in a living room environment where the lighting can and often does change throughout the day has been epic. We've been pretty happy with our 75-inch TVs, but stepping it up to 85 inches has been a noticeable improvement. Even TV content such as sports has taken on a new dimension. And the games that we have been able to tune into thus far they've just been a lot of fun. And with the big game coming up, I am very much looking forward to watching it on this giant TV because I think it's just going to be amazing. But a home theater is more than just a big screen. You need big sound. And to complete this experience, I went with Vizio's new Elevate 5.1.4 Dolby Atmos and DTS-X soundbar. The Elevate retails for less than $1,000, and this made it possible for me to achieve my goal of building a 4K big screen home theater for under $4,000. And the Elevate soundbar is pretty trick. It has these adaptive height speakers that auto-rotate for a more immersive experience with movies, music, and games, especially with Dolby Atmos and DTS-X. I'm not going to go too much into the Elevate sound quality. You're going to get that in my review next month, but you need to know that this system is a complete surround sound system straight out of the box. It has a dedicated 8-inch wireless subwoofer as well as 2 Dolby Atmos-enabled surround sound speakers, bringing the total number of speakers in this system to 18. The P-Series Quantum X and Elevate soundbar are a great combination. With a little adjustment, this system can hold its own and even thrill you the same way a costlier home theater can. And I love that we've been able to piece this system together just in time to take advantage of all the first-run movies like Dune, Matrix 4, Godzilla vs. Kong, all of which are coming to streaming this year. So while we may still be stuck at home, our home entertainment can be big. So that's it. That is our look at Vizio's new P-Series Quantum X 4K HDR Smart TV with Elevate soundbar, and how together you too can create a truly immersive big screen 4K home theater for under $4,000. I'd like to thank Vizio for sponsoring this episode and for indulging me in seeing just how big of a big screen home theater experience I could create for less. And of course, if you would like any information on any of the products shown in this video, links as always are in the description below. If you like this video, please do give it a thumbs up, like, and subscribe, and ring that bell so that you're notified when new videos come out. And remember, the only person who has to like the sight or sound of your system is you. So thank you so much for watching, and we will see you on the next video. Bye. It has all the latest. We're talking Netflix, Prime, Dan Cortez. of the latest streaming apps built into its SmartCast platform. I'm talking about Netflix. It's the knockoff. It's not quite Netflix. It's Netflix. There's only Madagascar movies.